Salute. How y'all doing? My name is DerrickCWilliams. I want to share a ghastly experience that I had at the age of 19, along with a 19-year-old young lady. I was actually in the room the day she had her abortion that I paid for. The title of this presentation will be called A Willing Participant. And I'm just one man in the comment section on YouTube. I was dealing with a young lady my first year in the military here in Philadelphia, and she had just graduated high school that June. And 2 months later, she informed me that she was in fact pregnant. So I'm white as a ghost. I'm afraid. I'm scared. I'm confused. I don't know what to do. And, obviously we had unprotected sex. And later on down the line, after we paid for the abortion and actually went through that process, she later informed me that she was in fact sleeping with someone else. So even to this day, while I regret having that abortion, I often wonder, did I pay for another man's child to be aborted? And I would never forget the sights and sounds in that room that day. In fact, Kermit Gosnell has a clinic in West Philadelphia, and that's exactly the place we went in. And this is important because Kermit Gosnell was just put in jail, and he is referred to as one of the most dangerous serial killers in American history. You may not have known that, but this is a black man. His name is Kermit Gosnell, and actually there was a movie made by him. Planned Parenthood is all over America, and its founder, Margaret Sanger, is a confirmed overt racist. And some of her quotes included referring to black people as human weeds. And she made a quote that really stings me to this day. And it goes like this: one of the most loving things a parent can do to a child is kill it. So I'm going to let you watch this video and just ponder some stuff. Maybe some of you all who may watch this in the future, maybe you went through this experience as well. So all y'all take care. Greenville, Mississippi till I die.
Deep in your mind is the memory of being born, the memory of the birth experience as a human being squeezed and then let out into the light with the noise and the air. It's so bright. Moving from darkness into the light, it's an awakening experience, obviously one of the most profound experiences of a human lifetime. And some people remember that experience, and others can remember it through hypnotic regression. And some of those people remember what it's like to be in the womb of their mother before they were born. And many mothers know that they can communicate with their unborn babies because that human being womb of the mother is alive, awake, aware. Because otherwise, how could you have a memory of being born if you weren't alive and awake and aware before you were born? Your neurology is functioning. Your heart is beating. You are a human being going through a birth experience. And as a child, you automatically have incredible love for your mother because for all those 9.5 months of gestation, your mother has been your protector, your provider, and has perhaps spoken to you, massaged you, as many pregnant women do. And there is one species on this planet that takes it upon itself to violate the divinity, the sacredness of that moment, and to murder that baby. There's only one group, and that's humans, and specifically in the United States of America, it is Democrats. And if you are a Democrat, it's time that you looked in the mirror and realized that you are an evil person because you support the murder of the very same kind of human being that you once were. And if you were treated the same way that you endorse treating other human beings who are alive and awake by the person you love the most, your own mother. And that is the condemnation, that is the terror that you unleash upon other conscious human beings who are simply trying to be born, simply wanting to survive, simply wanting to come into the world and experience the joys that they've been promised by a mother and a father. And the moment of awakening, saying, hey, I'm a human being. I'm awake, alive, aware. There's a whole world out here, and then you find out there's a Planned Parenthood knife to the back of the skull. Or, as Governor Northam of Virginia says, we'll keep the baby comfortable until the mother decides what to do with it. Democrats don't accept that that's a human being at all. And thank God those of us today and who seek to protect the lives of others, including the unborn, thank God that we have the tools at our disposal. We have our arms and our limbs and our eyes and our bodies and tools of self-defense to stop those who are attempting to carry out murder against other fellow human beings, all of whom are our brothers and sisters. We are brethren in this world together, sharing this journey at this moment in time, and we must protect our brothers and sisters. And yet there is a party called Democrats, and Democrats seek to murder our brothers and sisters. And I've often thought that any of us who are human, we should be able to sue, to take this case to court, to say Planned Parenthood murdered our relatives, our blood, because we are all virtually the same. We share the same genes, the same blood, the same history in anthropology and Homo sapiens and so on. They're murdering our brothers and sisters. And if you are a Democrat, you support a evil person. Maybe it's time you realize that. Maybe it's time you realize that all the pain and suffering in this world is reflecting the evil that you are inside. Because you, the Democrat, you will go out of your way to protect baby eagles, and baby seals, and polar bears, and frogs, and owls, and birds, and endangered species. But you know what's the most endangered organism of all? Is the individual unborn child. Because there's only one of her. And if you kill her, she will never exist again as the same person. Every unborn child is an endangered individual, a conscious, aware, awake, alive human being. And every unborn child deserves a chance to live without the violence that you, a Democrat, would inflict upon them in your hatred for a fellow human being simply because they are subordinate to your power and your wishes, and they are weak compared to you. So you have the power to kill them. And that makes you right in your mind? Because you see, Democrats argue that the government doesn't have the authority to tell you what to do with your body. These are the same Democrats, by the way, that push mandatory vaccinations, which tells you they don't even really believe their own philosophies. But no matter what your argument, when a child is born alive, awake, healthy, and is separate from the mother, how do you then argue that that child should not be allowed to live and protected by we the people? Because you see, Democrats support infanticide, post-birth abortion. It's supported in Virginia, it's the law in New York, and Vermont, and many other states all across the United States. Many areas run by liberals, they openly and deliberately support the murder of alive, awake, aware beings. And importantly, those are the same human beings that they, the Democrats, once were. Which means that if they are to be consistent in their views, that they think that whoever has the force to do so, in their minds, has the right to kill anyone that they don't like, to kill anyone that they think is an inconvenience. Well, does that mean that if one Democrat doesn't like another Democrat and they think they're inconvenient, that they have the right to kill the other Democrat? Well, I'm pretty sure Democrats think that Republicans are inconvenient. They certainly think Trump is inconvenient, and they don't like Christians very much either. Does that mean that they believe they have the right to kill all Christians because they are an inconvenience? If everyone in society were like you, people would simply be killing each other left and right with no end of the assaults. At any hour of the day in every city across America, it would be mass slaughter, blood, and chaos. That's your philosophy, you Democrat. You believe that having an abortion is something to be celebrated, something that better person. You believe that murdering another human being makes you what, more courageous, more upstanding, more acceptable to a twisted, evil society. You think that killing people makes you a better person, and that is why you are evil. Anyone who supports a Democrat is evil. in the same way that anyone who supported Adolf Hitler and the Third Reich and the genocide against Jews was also evil. You support genocide against babies, and you condemn people for not protecting women's health, while you don't protect the life of an individual, unique, endangered human being that simply wants to be born like you were born, simply wants to experience the world with the same opportunities that you deprive that individual of the opportunity that you had to take your first breath, open your eyes, live a life, explore the world. You would deny that to others? You are an evil person. Maybe you should look in the mirror. Maybe you should grab a scalpel and do to yourself what you demand to be done to other human beings who happen to be very young. Maybe you would make the world a better place by removing yourself from it, since that's your philosophy, a philosophy of death and destruction, because you support babies being born so they can be dismembered and parted out to the biotech companies who are purchasing organs from human babies. You support that, and yet no one has come. Would you let them if they did? No, because you would say, well, that's wrong. You can't stab me in the back of the neck. You can't cut my skull away from my body. You can't take my arms, my heart, my liver. But that's exactly what they do to babies, both born and unborn. You reap what you sow. Although I don't wish violence upon anyone, but it's important for you to know that according to your philosophy, if you were visited and attacked in your own home by a serial killer, took a scalpel to your body, cut your organs away, would you celebrate that as it's happening to you? Only if you were a sick person. So why do you celebrate it when it's done to a human child? And the answer is because you are a sick person. You have turned your life into a vehicle of destroying the lives of others, and you will be judged.